Theaters has continued to enrich the theater community and cultural life in Chicago. Since 1979, the League of Chicago Theaters has made it their mission to promote theater for everyone. Through audience development, community building, and professional development, the League continues to support over 200 theaters all throughout the Chicagoland area. This diverse ecosystem of Chicago arts, theater, and passion continues to flourish and inspire. We welcome you to our celebration of theater, arts, culture, and community as we look forward to 44 more years of Chicago theater.
My name is Sophia Leverett, and this is Vera from Seven Guitars, written by August Wilson.
Right.
It was nothing to you, but it was something to me. To have you just up and walk out like that? What do you think happened to me? Did you ever stop to ask yourself, I wonder how Vera doing? I wonder how she feel. I'll lay here every night in an empty bed, in an empty room, where someplace special, someplace where you had been, the same room you walked out of, the same bed you turned your back on. You give it up and you want it. What kind of sense does that make? You had when you weren't, I didn't. That makes you special. You're one of them special people who's supposed to have everything just the way they want it. Floyd, I wanted to know where you was bruised at, so I could be a woman for you. So I could just touch you there. So I could spread myself all over you and know that I was a woman. That I could give a man only those things a woman has to give, and he could be satisfied. How much would you think it make you feel to know you can't satisfy a man? So he can say yes. If you're a woman. That's what you say, but you never believed it. You never showed me all those places where you were a man. You went to Pearl Brown, and you showed her. Now I don't know what she did or didn't do, but I looked up and you was back here after I'd given you up. After I had walked through an empty house for a year and a half looking for you. After I would lay myself out on that bed and touch my body with your fingerprints. He touched me here. Oh, he touched me here. And he touched me here. And he touched me here. And he kissed me here. And he gave me here. And he took me here. And he ain't here. And he ain't here. And he ain't here. Quit looking for him because he ain't here. He's there. He's there. In Chicago with another woman. All I have is a little bit of nothing. A little bit of touch. A little bit of myself left. It ain't in here no more. What you're looking for
presentation and for her performance of This Is Vera. Opportunity that gives students across the nation experience to explore and share the richness that is August Wilson's Century Cycle, and we need that. Yes, we need that so much. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing your talents with us.
Absolutely. Today we are also celebrating Michelle Lopez Capistran, the second place winner of Designing August, the competition's category for costume and set design. You can see Michelle's work on display in our time capsule room.
Yes, but tonight, this is about celebrating all of you and all of the hard work and effort and galvanization it takes to create Chicago Community Theater and make it the best theater that there is.
And tonight is about celebrating the history of our Chicagoland theaters and showcasing the emerging talent, making waves in our industry.
Yes, and tonight is a big celebration for the return of our in-person gala and the return of our league gatherings throughout the year. We missed y'all. We did. We missed these in-person gatherings.
Isn't it good to be together?
It's so good. Everybody looks fly. You all look beautiful.
Give yourselves a big round of applause. We just came together and loving each other. And we are one. Absolutely. So on behalf of the League of Chicago Theaters, we want to welcome you to the celebration of Chicago Theaters, where theater is for all.
For all. And we echo that sentiment because we have to be inclusive in a time where our industries are shutting down, in a time where entire theaters are shutting down. We have to pull together and we have to find sustainable ways where we can create art and create sustainable models for us to not only survive these trying times in our economy, in our finances, in our governments, in our local areas, but ways that we can thrive and feel like we're really creating for art's sake.
And so look around the room and just take in the people that you see, have the conversations. Let's keep this going, okay? Because we have what it takes to succeed. We've been doing it and we're going to continue to do it. Amen?
That's right. Amen and Ashe. Tonight we're going to begin our presentation of the awards with the first ever Broadway in Chicago Backstage Champion Award. It's a new initiative to recognize the unsung heroes of our community. Now, before we present the winner, however, we want to take a moment to recognize all of our backstage champions. So let's give a round of applause to all of the nominees and to everyone in our community who contributes to making Chicago theater the best theater. All of our backgrounds, give them one.
Broadway in Chicago Backstage Champion Award. Please welcome our 2023 co-chair, lead board member, and executive director of the Chicago Latino Theater Alliance, Jorge Valdivia.
Buenas noches.
Buenas.
¿Cómo estamos? Just said something really horrible in Spanish for those of you. Good evening. It's my honor to be the presenter of this year's inaugural Broadway in Chicago Backstage Champion Award. This recognition is a way for us to recognize and celebrate one individual within the Chicago theater industry who has made a positive impact on our community. This year's winner has proven to be valuable to the field, and we're so honored to have him in our community. The recipient supervises and manages the businesses and financial functions, including development, fundraising, grant writing, individual giving, marketing initiatives, and producing for Definition Theater. We hear from Definition Theater, make some noise. We hear love Definition Theater, make some noise. So she's currently leading a $10 million capital campaign and the plan development for the construction of Definition Theater's future home at 6400 South Cottage Road. She's helped cultivate and manage Definition's small business incubator initiative for the past educational commerce courses, one-on-one coaching, and capital for Black and brown entrepreneurs on the south and west sides of Chicago. It is my honor on behalf of Broadway in Chicago and the League of Chicago Theaters to present our first ever Backstage Champion Award recipient. Please, con mucho amor, welcome to the stage, Neel McNeill, Executive Director.
So I just want to say that I feel very blessed to be able to do this work and just privileged to be able to be in a room with all you wonderful individuals. I have to thank my husband for all of his support, and then I really appreciate him always going to every play and every theater that I drag him to. I would like to thank my family, my parents, my siblings for all of their support. I have to thank my Definition crew, my Definition team. Thank you to all of them. Tyrone Phillips yelling in the front row. Danielle Davis, who was the person who told me she nominated me, to our board, to our ensemble, and every artist who has said yes to my leadership. I just want to say thank you for trusting me. I must thank Steppenwolf because they were, not only did they welcome me as a young artist here in Chicago, but they encouraged, they mentored, and they really convinced me to stay in Chicago in such a great community. I have to dedicate this though to Martha Levy because she was one of the people who were really a champion not only of our company but of my work and of artists of color. And so tonight I just want to say her name in this room. The Chicago theater community. I want to thank each and every one of you who has said hello, who is a friend, who is a colleague, who is an artist, who is anybody who has touched my life and touched the work that I do here in Chicago. I want to thank the League of Chicago Theaters. I want to thank Broadway in Chicago, and I want to thank all the amazing lifelong friends who I made doing this work. So thank you so much, and congratulations to all of us because you guys make this work easy. So.
In Chicago's theater scene for over 38 years. She completed her theater studies at the National School of Dramatic Art in Bogotá, Colombia, has a BA in architecture from Jorge Rosario University, and is a dedicated theater actor, director, educator, and researcher. Rosario is the founder and co-artistic director of Aguijón Theater Company, Chicago's longest running professional theater. Recently, in 2022, she was nominated for a Non-Equity Jeff Award for her performance in a leading role in Aguijón's production of Jorge Espinosa's Cintas de Seda, directed by Sandor Menéndez. Rosario's work in Abelardo Estorino's monologue, Sing or Swim, received critical acclaim and was an audience favorite in Chicago and Buenos Aires, Argentina, as part of the 9th Encuentro de Teatro y Territorio of the Universidad Nacional General Sarmiento. Rosario's accolades include being named the 2003 Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz honoree by the National Museum of Mexican Art and being named a member of Who's Who in Hispanic Chicago by Negocios Now in 2015. In 2017, Rosario was named one of the 50 over 50 Illinois honorees in arts and culture by AARP Illinois and Crane's Custom Media, and was honored by the University of Cartagena's Teatro Estudio with their 2018 season title, A Tribute to Rosario Vargas.
That I know, and for those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I
am Marcela Munoz. I'm the managing and co-artistic director of Aguijón Theater. And I think it is very fitting on a night when we all come together to celebrate the resiliency of Chicago's theater community that I am here to present a woman who embodies just that. Rosario Vargas came to Chicago in the early 80s from her native Colombia, as you just heard from the snippet. And as every immigrant, I think those of us who are immigrants in this room know, you come and you start trying to make that life and leave some things behind, but then after a while doing that, she realized she cannot split the artist from herself. And those of us in this room, all of us who are artists, know that you cannot possibly leave that behind when you leave so many other things behind. And she realized that she needed to get back to theater. And she wanted to do so in her native language, in Spanish, the language in which she dreams and speaks and creates. And so she started Aguijón Theater here in Chicago. For those of you who are like, what the hell does Aguijón mean? By the way, it's Aguijón, right? Aguijón means the stinger of a bee. And this is a company that she also started in Colombia way back in the... and it was meant to prick the consciousness of the government at the time in Colombia. If you know anything about Colombia, you know there's always something happening. So it was, to prick the consciousness of the audiences who would come to see the shows. And when she started a company here, she wanted to do so in Spanish, and something that seemed like a political statement at the time, and apparently it still seems that way now. She renamed that company Aguijón Theater Company of Chicago, as she was now part of Chicago. It has been the great privilege, and it is the great privilege of my life to have been born from or of and have been raised by Rosario. If you guys don't know, yes, I am a Nepo baby. And I want to thank the League of Chicago Theaters for giving me this opportunity to lay these laurels at her very deserving feet tonight as we are crowning her this year's awarding of the Artistic Achievement Award with all of you, the fabulous, inimitable, wonderful, excellent Rosario.
Siempre me ha llamado la atención tratar de entender desde mi posición de artista comprometida con mi cultura, con mi oficio, entender lo que significa respirar al borde, al margen, pertenecer a las voces marginales y tratar de comunicarse desde ese lugar. Hacer teatro en español aquí en Estados Unidos es un acto de rebeldía. En primer lugar, por la obsesiva insistencia de hacerlo en un idioma mayoritario, pero considerado solamente relevante para una gran minoría de la población de este país. Así que hacer teatro en español en Estados Unidos se convierte en un acto político, en un reto, si consideramos el enorme poder de la industria teatral anglo que domina el mercado. Sin embargo, todo eso empieza a vislumbrarse un cambio gracias a las nuevas políticas de inclusión y equidad. Por eso creo que son importantes estos eventos, estos reconocimientos, estos premios, como el que esta noche yo recibo con humildad y mucha alegría a nombre de todos mis colegas que hacen teatro en español en Estados Unidos. Gracias a la Liga de Teatros de Chicago, a Melissa Jones, directora ejecutiva, a los anfitriones, Schulfer, director ejecutivo de Goodman Theater, a Jorge Valdivia, director ejecutivo de la Alianza de Teatros Latinos de Chicago, CLATA, al comité organizador de esta gala y a todas las personas que apuestan por la equidad y la igualdad y la inclusión también. Mi agradecimiento muy especial a la organización CLATA, a todos sus miembros y a la inolvidable Mirna Salazar siempre por la inclusión y la representación de los actores latinos en Chicago. Gracias a Carlos Tortolero, mi compañero, mi amigo, porque durante muchísimos años ha trabajado arduamente por el reconocimiento y la visibilidad de los teatros latinos de Chicago. Gracias a mi esposo Augusto Yanakopoulos por tanto. A mi hija Marcela Muñoz, mi mano derecha, mis ojos. Gracias a todo mi grupo de Aguijón, a todos los miembros de la compañía de teatro Aguijón, compañeros y amigos, para ustedes este reconocimiento.
And just to echo these sentiments so eloquently said by Rosario, felicidades. It is such an honor to be recognized, and in this space where it is about our colleagues, our community, our peers, right? Where we're not just fighting for space and fighting for recognition, that we're saying, I see you, I see the work, I see your legacy. And your legacy is so beautifully encapsulated. May the work continue and may the work live on. Yes? That's what we're here to do tonight. This is a different night. It is different tonight. It feels so good. Thank you.
And thank you for all that you have done for the community. I mean, it's so important. I really believe that theater is something that will change our lives through the stories that are told on the stage in any language. So important to connect with people. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. We're so excited to keep the program moving. Are you moved? Are you moved? I am moved. Now, I'm so excited about this next presenter because his reputation literally precedes him, because your feet enter the room before your head does, right? And this man has the most classiest collection of socks and ties I've ever seen. Y'all, they are jaw-dropping.
What's funny is I've never seen his size.
And you already know. You already know.
So to celebrate history in the making, we want to welcome Schulfer, who will be presenting, where are you, Rob?
You know me.
This year's Broadway in Chicago Emerging Theater Award.
See what they're doing? Just say, no, I can't.
Oh, goodness. Right. Good evening, everyone. It's my distinct honor to be the presenter of this year's Broadway in Chicago Emerging Theater Award. This wonderful award was created in 2007 to recognize, encourage, support, and promote newer Chicago theater companies that have demonstrated great ability, promise, artistic excellence, and my favorite category, fiscal responsibility. The mission of this year's recipient has been to highlight the talents of overlooked BIPOC artists and cultivate underserved communities throughout the city. They also strive to train anyone who wants to develop their skills and get involved in theater or the arts in any way. By doing this, by cultivating this talent, by shining the light and developing BIPOC artists, this company makes an essential contribution to Chicago theater, one that's more important than ever. So, on behalf of Broadway in Chicago and the League of Chicago Theaters, I'm proud to present this year's Broadway in Chicago Emerging Theater Award to Perceptions Theater.
She would have told you, absolutely, that's where my baby's supposed to be. Perceptions was a dream I've had for 12 years now. When I sat in my undergrad classroom my sophomore year of college, majoring in theater, and I realized that these students who looked like me were getting ignored. Yes. They were being underserved, they weren't being taught. And so I've always been very boisterous, so I said, you know what, I'll teach them myself. So I made office hours in my dorm room to teach them. And of course, life happens and everything, and then eventually I found myself in Chicago in 2017, and then the very next year I met my amazing executive director, JG. We started this on the south side of Chicago where we live at. So we're very invested in making sure that we do theater in the neighborhood that we're in and showcasing the people in those neighborhoods. So I just want to thank our entire team. Of course, Jay, our graphic designer, Antoine Functions, our cinematographer, Jabari Khalid, our production manager, Tamaris Harville, our grant writer / literary manager, Kevin Bell, who got us here today. And we want to thank the League of Chicago Theater and Broadway in Chicago and all of the amazing Black artistic directors who have reached out a hand to us in Chicago, Jackie Taylor, Erica Reckless at Congo. Like, they have been so loving, and we found a community in Chicago, and thank you for taking this little girl from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in here. And so I will let my executive director, Jay, go ahead.
We have an amazing set of donors and board members, and if it weren't for their support, as well as all of you all supporting us, we wouldn't be able to support our community, and that's all I really got for y'all. Thank you.
Who is our PR person. She's been leading us since the very first day that we started in 2017. So she's been so supportive in seeing our growth, and without her, we wouldn't even be standing here before you today. So thank all of y'all so much.
Eileen LaCario is a founding executive and the current vice
Vice President of Broadway in Chicago. She started her theatrical career at Candlelight Dinner Playhouse and the Forum Theater, where she held management positions from 1973 to 1998 and has worked in the Chicago theater community for 50 years, having been involved in over 500 productions. Eileen oversaw marketing and public relations plans for multiple world premiere and pre-Broadway engagements, including Wicked, Jersey Boys, Billy Elliot the Musical, The Book of Mormon, and the historic run of Hamilton. Throughout her career, Eileen opened 6 theaters in Chicago, including the Royal George Theater, the Halstead Theater Center, the Cadillac Palace Theater, the James M. Niederlander Theater, the CIBC Theater, and most recently, the Broadway Playhouse at Water Tower Place. Eileen was awarded the Broadway League Award for Outstanding Road Marketing in 2010 and was honored in 2013 for her achievements in musical theater by the Sarah Siddons Society. She also received Ticketmaster's 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award and was called Chicago Theater's Secret Weapon by the Chicago Tribune. Eileen served on the Cultural Advisory Council and on the executive boards of the Chicago Loop Alliance. She is a past president of the board for Timeline Theater Company and was the board chair of the League of Chicago Theaters from 2009 to 2013, where she continues to serve on the League of Chicago Theaters Foundation Board. She was an adjunct faculty member of Columbia College, where she taught box office management, and spearheaded a marketing course for New York musicals at Northwestern University. Eileen has been married to theatrical producer Tony D'Angelo for over 40 years. They have 3 grown children and 4 grandchildren who are already singing and dancing. She is passionate about Chicago theater and is proud to have raised a family in this rich arts community.
I would tell them, in whatever field they're in, to find somebody who cares as much as I think they care.
I can honestly say there is no greater advocate for live theater than Eileen. I think she has sold as many theater seats as Kylie Jenner has sold lip kits.
And expertise, and you've used your gift to help theaters large and small, and you have the respect of your colleagues.
We've been together for over a quarter of a century and had some great times. And the things that we have done and created together have been fantastic.
Thank you, Eileen, for all that you have done and continue to do to make Chicago, and particularly the Loop, one of the most vibrant theater destinations in the world.
Eileen, I don't know where I, or HMS, Chicago Theater, touring Broadway, I don't know where any of us are without you.
Your love of theater, your love of the artists you support, the shows you support, there's nowhere I'd rather be and no one I'd rather be with creating a new musical. So thank you.
Eileen, simply put, you're a rock star for Chicago theater. Couldn't do it without you. Big love. Thanks for everything.
You deserve and have done enough to get 5 Lifetime Achievement Awards. This one is well deserved. And girl, celebrate.
Here's to the past decades and to the legacy that will continue to shine bright for many years to come. Eileen, everything you touch is better for that touch, and that includes me. In a world where strong wills and creativity collide with passion, Eileen has been a steadfast force, guiding Chicago and the underlying, and an advocate for theater in so many ways in the city. While she's a loving mother to 3 wonderful kids, and a doting grandmother to 4, and a great wife to Tony, Eileen's nurturing spirit extends far beyond her family. Her entire life has been dedicated from a business perspective to theater. At Broadway in Chicago, her stewardship of over 500 shows includes 31 free Broadway shows and 12 long runs.
She's earned national acclaim for that work, and rightfully so. As we all know, behind every spotlight, every performance, and every standing ovation, there exists a dedicated team of individuals who work tirelessly to bring the magic of theater to life. Eileen is one of those individuals on steroids. Her role may not be center stage, but it's absolutely pivotal to the success of theater in Chicago. Eileen, our theatrical guardian angel, has poured her heart and soul into ensuring that every show she touches has maximized their opportunity in this city and nationally. Her experience, attention to detail, and unwavering commitment have been a guiding light that has a profound impact on every production she touches. Just as she's lovingly raised her children and her grandchildren, Eileen has served as a guiding force, a mentor, and a confidant to the countless shows that have been fortunate enough to work with her. Eileen, your love, your care, your tireless dedication have illuminated the world of theater in Chicago, making it a brighter and more vibrant place. Thank you for being a hero of the stage.
So many of you out there I've worked with, and those who I haven't worked with, I hope to work with in the future. Over the years, I have truly stood on your shoulders for this achievement. It truly is an award that is collaborative with this community from the beginning till now. I do want to thank my mom above, because had she not brought me to theater when I was a little girl, I wouldn't be here tonight. And I do believe that it was the Schulfer Theater, which is now the CIBC Theater, that I first went to a show. I want to thank Tony D'Angelo, my husband, my loving husband and favorite producer. And I didn't have to say that. He and Bill Polinsky took a chance 50 years ago and hired an untrained props mistress for Candlelight Dinner Playhouse and Forum Theaters at $40 a week. I was 17. It was the luckiest day of my life, and I don't know that I knew what a props mistress was. I became part of a family and a community, our community, that has given me the most amazing life and allowed me to work with all of you to learn, grow, and reach heights in my career I never thought possible. And within this community, I fell in love, got married, raised 3 tremendous children who all went into the creative industries, and now gave me 4 grandchildren from 18 months to 5 years who have already been seduced by the magic of live theater. This is my past, but I look out into this room and I see the future. The community and the gift of theater in Chicago has been my life, and I, like all of you, know that the past few years have been rocky. But I know you all not only my legacy, but yours too. Whether it be Lou Raisin, who took me on 23 years ago, and allowing our talented artisans and managers to create and grow Broadway in Chicago as part of the community, or today's emerging Perceptions Theater, the ability for unknown, untested theater artists to create musicals, to create miracles and musicals. That's Chicago's calling. Thank you again for this honor. This lifetime is not over yet. As my wise granddaughter, Alma, who is here today, said to me this weekend, when you're done, you've only begun. So you and I have so much more to do, and what I wish for each and every one of you, each and every one of us, is to champion this theater community with a lifetime of achievements. Thank you so much.
Eileen, you are truly a class act, and I have known you for many, many years. And you know what? I've never seen you frown. I've never heard you talk bad about anybody. You are an amazing woman and so deserving of this award. Agree? Yeah. All right. Let's now bring up the executive director of the League of Chicago Theaters. None other than, I need a drum roll, please. Melissa
Woo! Here. I am so glad to be here this evening. I'm so glad to be here with all of you. I just feel so blessed, and I'm so grateful to God for this moment right here. It's great to see you all. My heart is really full. I'm glad the band is not on the keyboard, because I grew up in Black church and we hear all I am so inspired by Rosario and Eileen in their journeys throughout their lives and the legacies that they have left for people like me and for people like all of us to move forward in this work. I'm very grateful to both of you, and I am so excited to be celebrating and honoring both of you. One more time, please. I'm very grateful to my Gala committee, my co-chairs, and the committee who have held me down, Jorge, Rock, Rachel, Susan, the president of our board, Heidi, and definitely my colleagues at the League. If we could just, this is a schedule, if we could raise the lights so we could see the League staff who has worked so hard. On this journey, and ever since I started, and I'm forever grateful for them, and we have quite a way to go, and I'm very excited for it. I have to thank my husband, who I have dragged to almost every opening in Gala and Reed. Where is the husbands group? Where's the husbands group? They need to meet up. They need support. They need support. And my parents, Rosie and Mike Ford, who are here today, who encouraged me to be me every single day and to be here. I love this job, y'all. We have a whole community of people that help us bring our stories to life. And this is to me, theater is to me really like a game of telephone, right? It's the same message, but it's received in many different ways by all who hear it. Every performance has its own cadence, its own reactions, its unique lessons, the same story in a different place with a change of voice, a different costume, or a light cue, can strike in an entirely different way. Theater reflects who we are in the deepest fears and wildest imaginations, and it is powerful. One word, one act, one moment can change everything. In the world we create on stage, it can change, but more importantly, in the world we leave the stage for. Who we are in this moment, who we were yesterday, how we change, how we create empathy among enemies and understanding between generations and connection across politics, how we stop taking ourselves too seriously as adults, and then how we grow up in our own immaturities, how we laugh when we are sad or feel good when we are grieving, how we know we are not alone here. That's what theater brings. Yes. We know this because we are theater people. We make the story happen. We know the importance of a shared experience and the ripple it can have in our communities. We plan seasons that speak to the joys and complications of life. We study the time period and create worlds. We manipulate light and sound and set up plot twists. We get the right props and attention to detail. We deal with patrons and all of their needs. We know theater is blood and sweat and tears and lines and tech rehearsal and auditions and pre and post show discussions and students finding their voices and veterans sharing their stories in a world of possibilities. Who can tell that side of the story? Who can tell the theater maker's story? Because, if I must say this, theaters need funding. Theater makers need equitable pay, livable wages, and access to health care. Space, technological access, marketing, and data, all of those things are true. Well, the League is dedicated to telling this side of the story. Who gets to tell our story? We do. Let me tell you a little bit about my colleagues that I just shouted out. They're truly amazing human beings. They all love what we do, the people we serve, and the commitment that we've made. We are here to make you feel seen. And we're doing that by making sure theater is seen across marketing and advertising efforts across the city. This year we had the highest Chicago Theater Week in our 11-year history, selling over 20,000 tickets and introducing over 6,000. We pushed those summer and fall and holiday guides on you all everywhere and to about 60,000 people across the city. And we used this year's media opportunities to highlight stories with focuses on BIPOC, women, and LGBTQIA+ communities. We started our League video podcast to highlight stories, artists, careers, and theaters throughout the membership. And this year we're excited because we are kicking off the Arts in the Dark Parade to highlight our playwrights, our artists, our production, our We're here to make you feel heard. We started this year with our community meet and greets, which led to the first initiatives coming from the call of our colleagues in the industry, researching association healthcare, outreach for state and local funding, and expanded partnerships for lower cost resources. We fund through donations and partnerships. We are able to fund grants like the Comment Powering the Arts Grant, which gives $150,000 to local nonprofit arts organizations. The Samuel Roberson Grant, which was dedicated to an artivist this year to help with social justice impact within the field, and things like the August Wilson monologue competition. Wasn't Sophia amazing? We're here to engage. This year we opened our board to board committees to include new voices from across our community focused on marketing, audience engagement, programming, equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility work. This fall, we are also launching the League's first advisory board open to theater supporters outside our industry and focused on the advocacy of theater across the Chicagoland area. We also relaunched our industry nights, allowing for discounted tickets and networking among the membership while bringing support to new work productions. And we're working with Choose Chicago, DCASE, the Arts Alliance, and across the city in advocacy for the needs of theater makers. And this fall has been declared theater season in Chicago. We're also partnering to bring TCG, the first city to bring TCG back. The National Theater Conference will be here in June of this year. And we're here to educate. The alliteration continues, marketing and microbrews, marketing and margaritas, marketing and merlot. Some of these shut your marketing departments. There's sober trainings too around professional development, strategy, business acumen, and industry-specific needs like trans-inclusive casting, land acknowledgement, emergency response training, and panel discussions. We continue our dedication to the August Wilson Monologue Competition as we engage with youth across the city. And this year we had our inaugural career fair where I kept telling my colleagues there's going to be 500 people there. I put my foot in my mouth because the first person showed up at 11 a.m. and it didn't start until 2. We had 430 eager theater career professionals from all generations and expertise packed the house for that event. So theater is This year has shown me what God can do, and tonight has shown me what faith can do. I got my first opportunity to go to a gala as someone's guest. I could not nowhere near afford the price of the ticket. And when thinking about tonight, I wanted the LEADS Gala to be for all the people who help make our stories come alive. If you know anyone who works in development, then you know that Mike had a heart attack when I said we're going to do a give back gala. He was like, what? But I'm so glad, thank you to all of the sponsors and donors and people who purchased tickets to make it possible for all the members, the people who are backstage, in front of the stage, the people who work hard and put all of their blood, sweat, and tears into making these stories possible, that they can have this moment tonight with all of us. Thank you. We're just getting started. I say that because we have to work together. We have to be innovative. We have to rewrite the narrative. I asked earlier who is going to tell the theater maker's story, and the answer is us. Please look around the room and you will see actors, designers, artistic directors, musicians, art administrators. We are rising stars and seasoned veterans, but most importantly, we are each stewards of the rich legacy and history of Chicago theater. That's why tonight we are calling on you, our theater community, to join us in supporting one another. I ask that you give as generously as you can tonight during our paddle race to help support all of the work that the League, which is all of us, are doing together. A gift of any size can really help and impact our community, and I'm looking forward to the work. There is a long road ahead, and you all know that, but long roads make for great stories. Thank you.